Join me as we go around the world in first class with Qantas and Emirates. This will be an amazing journey with over 40 hours of flight time. Let's go. Before we get to those incredible first class suites, I have a quick flight from Brisbane to Sydney with Qantas on their 737. With no first class on domestic flights in Australia, the premium cabins are referred to as business class. Before the flight, I head to the Qantas Business Lounge to grab a drink and relax. There are plenty of seating options here. If you prefer a quieter space, then head left when entering. If you head to the right, you'll find the main bar and food offerings. My timing is after breakfast and before lunch today, so the offerings are much more limited. There was this food station that started up while I was there, offering shepherd's pie, which was nice. The pineapple lollies are always my favourite. There are 3 lounges in the Qantas Lounge precinct. The Qantas Club Lounge is the biggest and most crowded from my experience. The Business Lounge, which is what I was in, and the secretive Chairman's Lounge. A short walk from the lounge precinct and past colourful 737 before boarding. The seat was spacious and the food was tasty. Before long, this 1.5 hour flight was done. With free Wi-Fi and nice food and drinks, the flight was a delight. A quick walk to gate 15 to get the transfer bus to the international terminal and then into the Qantas First Lounge. The food option here is a la carte and the menu has plenty of options. There's also a full bar with plenty of drinks to select from. You can tell I have the taste buds of a 10-year-old. The lounge is long and narrow, which means there are plenty of options to enjoy the view out onto the planes coming and going. Down one end you'll find this lovely library area with plenty of options to help pass the time if you have a long wait. It's also nice and quiet down this end of the lounge, which is to the right as you enter up the escalator. If you need a space to get some work done, there are these business rooms. We're now heading back from the library end, past the reception, past the restaurant area, and the shower rooms are just past the restaurant and were spacious and refreshing before this long flight. Past the showers and more seating is the spa. First class passengers are offered a free 20-minute treatment and I couldn't pass up the opportunity for a massage before this flight. The older style click-clack boards at the entrance to the lounge was a nice nostalgic touch. Before long, it's time to board. This is flight QF11 and it's on the A380 with a flight time of around 14 hours. The main deck features 4 classes of travel: economy, which occupies most of the lower or main deck, premium economy, which is at the rear or the top of the upper deck, business class, which is the other 2/3 of the top or upper deck. The first class suites are located on the lower level of the plane and are arranged in a 1-1-1 configuration. This 1-1-1 configuration means the suites are huge. Today, I'm seated in seat 1A. It still takes me a while to appreciate how big this space is. Before long, there is champagne and nuts to keep me occupied while the other 450 plus passengers boarded. In case you forget where you're seated, Qantas love their Qantas First branding on the provided pajamas, slippers, and amenity kit. The contents of the kit are a bit underwhelming compared to other first class providers, as you'll see later in this video. Some socks, eye mask, earplugs, teeth cleaning kit, and some little potions to keep me beautiful. A menu and wine list was provided, then it was time for caviar and more champagne. Once up in the air, the meal service began. It's hard to communicate just how huge this fold-out table really is. I'm certainly no food expert, but I was pleased with the dinner options. Upstairs, there's a small lounge area for first and business class passengers to enjoy. While I explored the lounge and then got ready for bed, my bed in my suite was being made up for me. The mattress topper and bedding products were lovely, and the bed was spacious and comfortable for my 190cm size. After a solid sleeping session, it was time for breakfast and watching another movie. I really loved the little Qantas emblems on the seats. It was such a nice touch. And a quick bathroom pick for those curious. Overall, the Qantas First Class Suite is a very comfortable place to spend time. After a quick overnight stay in LA, it was time for a relatively quick 4-hour flight to Chicago, where I was attending a conference. Unfortunately, only an economy seat was available, and it was certainly different to the Qantas First Class Suite from the flight before. Several days later, the journey continued, and it was time to check in at Terminal 5 in Chicago. The flight will be from Chicago to Dubai with Emirates on their Boeing 777 in first class. While check-in was smooth, the lounge was a big letdown. With a ticket price of around 21,000 Australian dollars for a one-way first-class seat on this flight, the best lounge option provided is the SAS lounge, which is probably one of the worst lounges I've ever experienced. Very crowded, and the food and drink options available were not in line with first-class lounge expectations in my opinion. Soon enough though, it was time to board. After a brief stroll past the business class seats, I was shown to my suite for this journey, 2K. It was certainly a comfortable space to spend the next 14 hours, as we had a long delay before takeoff. I was told I'd also have access to 2F to store some things as it wasn't occupied. A basket of snacks and a fresh rose was a nice touch. Some Arabic coffee and a date to start things off before changing into the provided pajamas and slippers. A matching rose in the bathroom. Before long, it was time to get the table out and enjoy the signature 2013 Dom and warm nuts. The amenity kit provided on Emirates is one of the best in the sky and a big step up from the Qantas offering. This kit contained a dental kit, comb, tissues, deodorant, shaver, shaving cream, aftershave balm, cleaning towel, hydrating body emulsion, and a large fragrance bottle. The provided headphones were great quality and very comfortable. The meal service was impeccable, with presentation being a key factor. It's hard to say no to the hefty caviar serving, complete with mother-of-pearl spoon. Up next was the Arabic meze, which was a delight. My main course was the beef, and turbulence as you can see by the wine glass. A quick treat for dessert. And the Hennessy parodies, of course. There is so much stuff in this suite. I mean, how did I live without sleep oil and pillow mist? The position of 2K is rather private, but the closing doors add another layer to that, especially with nobody in the seat opposite me for this flight. As we taxi into the gate in Dubai, I can't help but start comparing this experience to the Qantas first class trip at the start of this journey. The Emirates First Class is a much better offering in every way. Well, except for that lounge in Chicago. The standout for me was the service from the staff. They seemed like they wanted to go above and beyond for you, which was very different to Qantas. The Emirates 777 also had a much better in-flight entertainment offering, both in the quality and size of the screens and the tablet, but also in the range of shows and movies available. The final flight of my journey was another 14 hours from Dubai to Brisbane, again with Emirates. Initially, this meant a tight turnaround of less than 2 hours. However, I was able to change to a later flight a few months out. This meant I had a 15-hour layover, so plenty of time to enjoy the amazing Emirates First Class Lounge. I started with a quick trip to the spa before exploring the lounge more. This place is simply huge. With the lounge in Concourse B undergoing some renovations, I was advised that this was the best option, and it was right. There is so much to see and do here that I was never bored. There was the fine wine and luxury spirit store, shoe shine, kids room, seating, more seating, bars with more seating, more seating, I enjoyed this decorative ceiling piece as well, at either end of the lounge. So much to see and do. A restaurant. But first, it's time for a shower. The a la carte food and drink offerings were superb, with the waiter happy to offer suggestions when asked. They have a quiet area with these comfortable bed-like seats. A couple were almost like a private room, so I managed to get a good nap in before I continued exploring. The business area in the lounge is well equipped for those wanting to get some work done. And there is plenty of duty-free shopping options without needing to leave the lounge. I think I tried every bathroom across the 15 hours I was here, and each was immaculate. After breakfast, in the other restaurant area, it was time to board. This can be done directly from the lounge, which makes for a very relaxed and non-crowded boarding. After being shown to Suite 1A for this flight, it was time for another glass of Dom. With an orchid instead of a rose, the big difference on this flight is that the Emirates A380 has that wow factor bathroom, complete with shower. The shower spa, as they call it, also has a range of potions on offer. You have a screen to keep you up to date, hairdryer and other amenities, and after you enjoy the shower, the foyer to the shower suites is transformed into this relaxing scene for you. The bar at the rear of the top deck, behind all the business class seats, is also a fun space. The suite on this A380 is the same as the older style 777 from earlier in this review. However, this version was slightly more dated, with a noticeable difference in the screen and tablet quality. The food and drink service was again outstanding. When I couldn't decide between which appetizer to have, the flight attendant said I should just have both. So I did. Her wine pairing suggestions throughout the flight were spot on. Breakfast was great, and the box of chocolates before landing was a nice touch. The amenity kit provided on this flight had all the same contents as the previous Emirates flight. However, it was in a slightly different Bulgari bag. So who has the best first class experience between Qantas and Emirates? I've broken my scores down to cover 4 sections: the lounge, the seat or suite, food, including drinks, and overall service. For the lounge, I gave Qantas a 9 out of 10. The first lounge in Sydney was a delight, and the only letdown was being stopped at the door and being told this was only for first class passengers, despite them not looking at the boarding pass correctly. First impressions count. The Emirates lounge was an 8 out of 10. The Emirates lounge in Dubai is certainly a 10 out of 10. However, the lounge option in Chicago was so far below expectation, it does drag the overall score down, unfortunately. For seating, the Qantas suite scores a 7 out of 10. The seat is a great size and the bedding is wonderful, but the screen and tablet were well outdated in quality and usability. Emirates seat gets a 9 out of 10. The seat was spacious, the bedding comfortable, and the screen and tablets were both wonderful quality. The more dated tablet and screen on the A380 is the only reason I'm not giving this a 10 out of 10. The food was great across both airlines, with the Qantas score lower due to the set meal times compared to the Emirates option to order anything, anytime. The Emirates snack basket is also a feature Qantas lacked. Service on Emirates was outstanding. Nothing was a problem, and they were eager to help make the experience memorable. From lounges to flight staff, every interaction was of the highest quality. Unfortunately for Qantas, this was their biggest failure. While the service wasn't bad, it just wasn't what I would class as warm or friendly. In a previous first-class flight last year from LA to Sydney with Qantas, the flight attendant was outstanding, and while that experience was a 10 out of 10, this one wasn't. So the clear winner here is Emirates. And after this experience of circumnavigating the globe in first class, well, almost, it's hard to complain as this was a dream come true. So what did all this cost? For all the spreadsheet lovers out there, here's a breakdown. If paying cash for the flights, the total came in at over 50,000 Australian dollars, or about 34,000 US dollars. For those points collectors out there wondering how many points this is, I can only give you the details with Qantas frequent flyer points. This shows you the breakdown for each flight, plus the taxes for each flight are paid on top of the points spent. Good thing I didn't have a scoring section for taxes, because that's not a strong area for Emirates, that's for sure. Many Qantas frequent flyers look at the cost per point, or CPP, which is a way to measure the value of frequent flyer points used. To calculate this, you take the cost of the flight, subtract the taxes, and then divide that number by the total number of points used. So let me know in the comments which first class you prefer, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up if you got value from this video, and subscribe to see future videos.